Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris Man. As always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to entitle this video at this moment, but by the time you're watching it, have an appropriate title. This message that I'm about to convey is the most important one that I convey on my channel. And I do several of these videos for you guys to understand the proper steps to learning how to play the guitar. And it's not watching Morris Man Fingers on the internet, a guy that's been playing professionally for 20 plus years and went and took formal lessons. You're not going to play like that dude just by watching that dude fingers or any other dude fingers. And I have to stress that because there's some people that don't know what they don't know. You know, we live in the era of the information age, and that's great, but nothing takes the place of doing it the formal way. Trust me, you guys, you know, because I get people that want to defend that they only play by ear. I will only play by ear, and I'm doing okay. You could be doing much better if you incorporated formal lessons into your self-taught style of playing. You know, and there's some people that ain't trying to hear that. It's like, okay, I guess you got to have a rock fall on your head, because you're not going to get there by just sitting there. Where your fingers at, Morris Man? Move the camera, you know. And speaking of that, this is the reason why I'm doing this video. Because from time to time I get this and I'm like, I'm not trying to be a hard ass or be negative. I care about you guys. That's why I do this. I'm like an older brother or father figure, grandfather figure, whatever, you know, trying to tell you this is the right way. Because guess what? Been there, done that. You know, I've seen this movie before and I know how it ends, as opposed to you got some 30-year-olds that want to challenge you, some 20-year-olds that want to challenge you. It's like, okay, dude, you know, if you think that you know better than me trying to do this, you can be on your merry way, you know, and I wish you all the best, you know. But every now and then I get this. Somebody view a guitar chord lesson and they say it's hard to see the chord shapes, bad camera angle. And my response is, if you don't know the chord shapes already, my friend, it's time to go get quote unquote capital letters real lessons. Stop watching some dude fingers on the internet. You will not learn how to play the guitar that way, and you won't. You know, there's nothing wrong with that, because you do. Once you learn, meaning that once you kind of learn the formal stuff, yes, people can show you some chords to play these songs, because you know sometimes the sheet music is not available. But, you know, when you don't know, when you kind of bypass the formal and just think you're going to learn, because it's real simple. Learn your instrument first, then play songs. It's still, I know how to play my instrument. Somebody going to teach me some songs. That's backwards. It's backwards. You know, once you learn your instrument, you can play millions. I had no idea that I'll be sitting here in 2021 still playing songs that I haven't played for you guys. You know, it just took off. It started off with knowing about 50 songs off the top of my head, my group's set list. And then once I was going to finish that, I was going to be done. That was, what, 10 years ago? And still going and going strong? I had no idea that I can play that many songs. I had no idea I was that equipped, you know, after taking formal lessons, that I can do that. And then it just dawned on me, which I already knew, duh, if you learn your guitar, you can play as many songs as you want, you know? And that's the route you want to take. You don't want to sit here and watch people's fingers and complaining about bad camera angles and don't know shapes. It's real simple that you can figure out simple things. If you can play, you know, or just beginning and getting familiar with your instrument, and you see a chord shape you're not familiar with, you guys are lucky. You live in a day and age now where it's easy to go on the internet and find these shapes. Guys, you know, my age and back in the day, we had to pull out chord books, you know, and some of them chords shapes wasn't in there, you know, so you did the best way you can, but you guys got a age, you know, as far as the internet, and you're still not doing it right. Why? Because you won't go get lessons. You know, again, it could be several factors why you won't, and one of them is being fucking cheap with yourself, because you're being cheap with yourself. That money that you give instructors is an investment in you. It ain't that you put money in these dudes' pockets and they living rich and buying yachts. You know, $15, like I told you guys, don't do shit for me. 20 don't do shit for me. 100 don't do shit for me, okay? So figure it out. I'm here to help you guys. I'm not here to get $20, you know? I'm not here to get $50. I'm not here to get $100. So I do these videos to hope that some of the people that watch this video say, man, Morris, man, professional. He seems like an honest guy. He's here to help us. So I'm going to take his advice. I'm going to find me somebody that can sit down next to me. And I recommend that. I don't recommend that Skype shit. It ain't nothing like having somebody sitting here right next to you. It's just like when you're a teenager and you're away in college. Which one would you prefer, to have your girlfriend sit right next to you in your college dorm or on the phone talking to her? I think everybody would pick the second one or the first one. And it's the same thing with that. You feed off of each other. It's a whole different dynamic when you got somebody there with you. Now, I know with the pandemic, you're kind of easing off on that taking a moment to figure that or think about that. And I totally understand. But once this is over, and it will be over, probably within the next year, maybe a year or two at the most, and it's totally gone, or extremely rare cases, as opposed to people still dying there because they refuse to go get shots. I don't know what that's about. I'm afraid of needles too, but you know what? I'm more afraid of fucking dying within a week and can't breathe, okay? This ain't no joke. Cancer don't take you out this quick, and the majority of other things don't. So you got to take this serious, and let me just mention this for you uninformed black people. Stop using that weak ass, stupid Tuskegee thing as an excuse, because they got shit to do with it, okay? That has nothing to do with this. It's really a shame when you have people that throw out information that's totally wrong, and you got these other dumb people following that shit and regurgitating it because of Tuskegee. Tuskegee ain't got shit to do with this. So take your ass and get your vaccinations, please. If you're not so concerned about yourself, at least be concerned for others. Because that's how messed up this is. This ain't about one man making a decision that it will cost him his life. It's one man making a decision that will cost other people their lives. Okay? So get up off that stupid rumor passing around nonsense and go get your ass and get vaccinated. I'm sorry that I had to go on that tangent because YouTube might flag this video now. But I'm passionate about that. It's like, come on now. If you're going to do something, do it for the right reasons and have the facts, as opposed to somebody told you this and you believe this bullshit because it's some bullshit. And then you running with it, and it might cost you your life. Come on now. I know you're smarter than that, So show everybody that you are. But anyway, I'm going to sign off now. But go get formal lessons, Don't sit here and get camera angles or complain about camera angles. And you got the internet at your disposal that if you're not quite sure what I'm doing and the proximity of where I'm at should kind of tip you off and like, okay, well, Morris, man, on the third fret, so he's probably using the root on the E or maybe the root on the A, something like that. And if I'm not sure, just type in the chord and you get different inversions, these chords from the internet for free. So use that instead of complaining about you can't see everything for free and it's a bad camera angle and blah, 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 blah. Please, go get lessons. Stop being cheap. Stop being cheap. I can do this by myself, and it's going to sound like it. Your plan will become extremely stagnated, and you cannot play in a professional studio setting. I ain't talking about your cousin's basement if you don't know how to read, because the producers and music arrangers, if you ever heard of those guys, when you got a Quincy Jones, you working with that guy, he's giving you sheet music. He's not going to say just here's the song and just try to figure something out. He already got your part written, baby. And you got to be able to read your part. If you can't, you ain't getting up in there. You don't know what you don't know. And that's the information that I just shared with you guys that you might not know. That when you get to the big leagues, that's how we roll. That's how we play it. We don't just have you sitting around in the room trying to figure out how does this sound good nonsense, They give you sheet music for your part. And you should be able to read that. If you can't, there's the door. Don't come back until you go get lessons and do it the right way. Because they're not going to change their setup just for you. Well, he can't read, so we'll let him try to figure out a part later. They ain't doing that shit. It's like, here you go. I can't read this. Goodbye. Get the fuck out of here. Just that simple. And I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm just telling you guys the truth. That guys that don't know and don't understand that's what you can expect if you're lucky enough to get to the big leagues or close. That's how they roll, It ain't none of that again, making special consideration for you that you can't read and they're going to do this and wait for you. The clock is ticking. They don't believe in wasting time nor money, okay? So signing off now. Talk to you guys later. Have a good one.